Super duper quick, let's go over some running form stuff here. So I'm a pretty amateur runner. I am following a half marathon routine right now. If you want to follow that as well, you can check it out in the description. But we're going to look at my running form from about 1.75 miles. I ran indoors on the treadmill, and I did it at various speeds of a light jog to what I would do at about the rate of the half marathon, and then the max speed of the treadmill for about 0.25 miles. So I took some notes on some much better running form videos that you can check out also in the description, and we can see how I'm doing here. So biggest thing that we start with is the forefoot landing, which is just where you're landing on the ball of your foot. And you can kind of see I'm almost landing flat-footed here. When I run, it does kind of feel like I'm landing on the ball of my feet, but I think I can work on that a little bit more, and I'll just try and push that up a little bit further to land on the ball of my feet. And that's just supposed to help you propel a little bit more forward when you land and help conserve your momentum. Next thing we are going to go over is where your foot lands compared to it being under your body. It's supposed to be under the center of your mass, or some people say that it's supposed to land right under your body. So I think I'm doing all right in this category. It also depends on the speed that you're running at. So I'm aiming for a bit of a more distance runner style. So we're not driving as much with our knees or swinging our arms as much as a sprinter or like an 800 meter, but we're going to go at more of a steady, lighter rhythm, and my feet are doing decently under myself. So that's another thing to look out for. Another one that is more for your own safety is having your knees always a little bit bent, and that's supposed to help with shock absorption and just kind of extending the longevity of your body for running, and it conserves energy as well. So this is a bit of a Kipchoge technique, at least in the analysis of his running, where you're always having your knees a little bit bent just to help absorb the shock from each impact of every step. And I think I can work on that a little bit more. You can see how my legs are a bit extended when that happens. And then you do want to have some knee lift when you are running. You don't want to over-exaggerate it, how a sprinter might, to really drive your legs, because you do need power for a longer period of time. But having some knee lift, which just means bringing your legs up a little bit more to propel yourself forward and kind of keep that forward momentum going. Some of the quotes I pulled directly from the videos were to think about pulling through the ground. You're not exactly here to bounce along on the ground, but you want to make each step and stride meaningful to going forward. On another line that they used was to actively paw the ground, which kind of puts some dog energy into my mind of you want to have each step not be lumbering, but have enough energy to propel you, and then that step's done. You're getting your feet off the ground, you're letting your feet kick back, and you're moving forward. So that pawing, that kind of quick motion, is kind of a good imagery to keep in mind for your legs moving forward. Another tip they had was to minimize upward movement. I think I have an issue with this at the lower speeds. Even kind of at all speeds, and you can focus on moving forward again, but if you notice yourself bobbing up and down a lot, you're using more energy to keep yourself up than to move forward. So finding that equilibrium of being able to be upright, but also using all the rest of the energy to propel forward is something to keep in mind. And so if I film my whole body, you could kind of see a little bit of jitteriness. I don't think it's super bad in my form, but always something to keep in mind. Another very important part of your form is how you breathe. A lot of guides say to breathe through your diaphragm. That is something that I need to work on still and get used to. I think I always kind of breathe with my chest, but breathing with your diaphragm is what you're supposed to do. And I think it has something to do with your hips as well. Kind of keeping your hips engaged and utilizing your hip flexors to extend the range of your legs is important too. So focus on breathing through your diaphragm, which is when you inhale, your stomach grows, and then when you exhale, your stomach shrinks. So you're breathing with your stomach there. having a high kick up. This is important when you are going really quickly. So if you're just going at like a 10-minute mile-an-hour pace like I would be if I'm doing the half marathon, then this isn't as key, but just allowing your legs to kick up is important to a certain degree because you're just letting the energy from each stride kind of flush out. And then another thing they mentioned is then kind of snapping your legs back in and kind of carrying that momentum into the next step. So don't leave your legs extended out for too long, but allow them to snap back in, and you're going to kind of retract them with your knees, or I guess the muscle below your knee. And then the next one and the last one is having a little bit of a lean forward. And so when you're leaning forward, you're putting more weight above your body and your legs, and that weight is setting you off, not off balance exactly, but it is keeping your momentum going forward. So you're putting less action into your legs to bounce you up and down, but you're letting yourself almost fall forward, and then you're letting that forward momentum catch you as your legs are moving. So as you're entering faster speeds, leaning forward will help you increase your speed instead of having to carry all the way on top of your legs. So that's a few things that we can look at within my form here, and seeing how I can improve that for my future runs. So I'd say overall, I'd give my form a 6.5 out of 10. I think I can lean a little bit forward more on my feet. I can keep my legs a little bit more bent on the impact to help absorb, and I can snap my legs back a little bit more. I can work on my breathing too, and maybe working on that pawing on the ground. But overall, I say it's all right in kind of each category, but it can certainly improve too. So I'd say we're looking good. I'll just keep those kind of little notes in mind. And I would encourage anyone to kind of use this as their own checklist and watch those videos linked in the description, and maybe they can make their own running a little bit easier. All right. Thanks for watching, y'all, and peace out.